Hello my friends and welcome to my channel. I'm working on papers to use in my journals. Mostly of course neutrals as always, but a few with colors on. I have some pink ones and I have some yellow ones, I think. There we go. And some blue, of course. I have started to do some collage on some of them and some printing. And the first thing I did was to dye them with coffee and watercolor ink. And then I have done some painting and some ongoing flowers that will be scribbled on later with pen. Some just some easy painting with some, I think it's a landscape, and some scribbling and some colors, some printing. So this, if you have seen on Instagram, this one I did earlier today. So I'm going to continue, and if you're interested you can see what I'm doing. So this is how most of the paper looks when they are just dyed with the watercolor ink and coffee. And I also splatter some white ink on them, and that's not water-based ink, it's pen ink that you use when you fill up pens. So I thought I could use some dried flowers and see if I could print a little bit with them today on a few. So that's the goal of the day. That one I used with the matte medium, so they might be destroyed as I have forgot to clean it. It's also filled with, I think it was the watercolor. It was the watercolor when I did the stamping. And then Nico came along and I forgot I had ink on it. So now it's okay again. So I'm going to use some sepia watercolor on tube. Just taking a little blob and put it on my palette. And then I'm going to make sure I put it on the side where we have the most veins. Oops, that was a big blob. I'm not using so much water. I try to keep it thick. So it will kind of stay on the leaf until I can print. It's easier when they are dry to get the color to stay. The fresh one is often a bit more moist and difficult to work with. Like that. See if we can get this on the paper. I think I will put it up in the corner. Take a piece of scrap paper, put on top of it. that's okay. Taking a little bit of water and fill in a little bit more. So we can see the contour clearly. There was a piece left. Going to take another paper that is a little bit more absorbent, so it won't be so dark. Give it a little bit more water on this part and soak that up. I like the sepia color. It almost looks like it's a dried leaf that is put down. So let's use it on one more. I'm going to use these papers on different journals. So let's spritz it with some water, activate it a little bit more. See if we can get another print. Almost get prints on these. Can use them for something else. Pieces that are falling off from the leaf, but we can take them away when it has dried later on. So a couple of nice prints there to start with. Let's take another leaf. This is the rain side. Try to use another lighter color from Art to Basic. It's a color I love. I think it's number 32, handmade from Art to Basic. the optimal brown color. They also have it with some glitter in, so if you like that, it's really beautiful. Don't want to use too much water, because also when I press it down, if it's too much water on the leaves, it will get the wrong shape. I want clear edges so we can really see that it's a leaf that is printed. So make sure you get the color on all the small edges of the leaf, or the flower if you use that. Oops. No problems, even if I have bad hands and lost it. Beautiful. Soaking up. That is too much. It almost looks like a skeleton leaf. Love that. And you see that color is kind of perfect. And if you want to do it as a fall leaf, you can add some yellowish tones or orange, and more for a summer or spring you can add a little bit of green in it. So let's put that aside so you don't need to see me do the same leaf all the time. Let's do a fern. See if we can manage that. Not so easy. I guess we need to have quite watery paint for that, to be able to Is it the wrong side? Yes. No, I think we need the sepia that is a bit thicker to get it to stay in place. It was a bit watery from binding solution, but I think that will work much better. You can also add it with a lost the word brayer. So you don't need to do every leaf like this. You can just put it on something flat and put the color on with the brayer. But I didn't want to take all of that stuff out today. So let's do it calm and gentle and let it take time. We are de-stressing and enjoying every minute, so we don't need to hurry. and Nico has been outside a lot today. It has been sunny and about 6 degrees minus Celsius. So the sun is starting to warm your face when you are outside, and that's nice. Almost a little bit of spring feeling, even if I almost can hope for that for now, but that was the feeling when the sun was warming your face today. I think I need to stop there so I won't glue it down with all the color. And another piece of paper. See if we can get it all over there. So I'm going to do actually more than one of these small journals. I'm going to add eco-dyed paper and kind of these papers with different marks and prints on. There we go. See if we can get a bit more color off there. It won't be the pattern, but at least it will be lighter. Perfect. And let's do one more before we change the work to something else. Some of the leaves is almost feeling like oily, so the color won't stick on them the way I want. But it's always easier the second time you use it. When you have added the color once, it seems like it's easier to get the color to stay. You can actually use the same. giving it a little bit of water to loosen it up a little bit. We will still be able to see the pattern through the veins. Okay, so let's leave these to dry and then we can continue with some more decoration on them when I have cleaned the desk and the leaves are dry. So some lines and some rings. Just adding some water so it can move a bit. So leave that again to dry. Oops. And we can use this one. This is the stamp that I made the other day. I added the same color and stamped with that. So we got another pattern with leaves on. So let's do some I think we'll do a stamp. These are older stamps that I have found from my farm, so these are some handmade wooden stamps. And as they are wood, they don't take on the stamping pads really well. They are so hard in the wood, so don't give any nice prints. It needs to be more soft when you use a stamp pad. So I'm doing the same with this one. I'm adding watercolor, giving them a little spritz with my water spritzer, and then I'm just putting it down. And I'm keeping it for a second or two so that the paper can soak it in. I have 2 of these, and it's some kind of mark for ownership. So they used this when they made things to other farms or something like that. So it's like a business card, but in the 1800s. But they are beautiful. I love them. And to know that these are handmade, it's really nice. Just adding some water so it can fill up the whole part of it. So should we do some color swatches on this side? Just doing them by hand like this. I'm using sepia on all 3 of them, but then I'm going to add a bit of black into one of them so it gets a bit darker. And then I'm adding a little bit of blue in this one so it turns a little bit more like grayish blue. Then I'm spritzing clear water, or as clear as it is now. And leaving that to dry. And I have this one with more swatches on, so let's do this one with a darker color. No, a lighter color than the other one. And then we can use up the sepia. Keeping it light. Making a bit of a stem on this one. Maybe not that one first. Making a bit of a easy botanical thingy. Blending sap green and sepia. Leaving it to move a little bit. And now I'm going to do like this. Kind of get a bit more not so neat. We're going in with pens later on and going to add more things, but I want it to be a little bit more free. So should we do one more? See if we can do something else. Use one of these and a little bit of gesso, I think. Adding a little bit of water into it so it's not so thick. This is a waterproof pen, but if you go in quite quickly, sometimes it will loosen up a little bit. Often when you don't want it to, so I'm going to try to at least just move it in some places. Same again, I don't want it to look too neat and properly done. Okay, so that's a beginning for some new pages, and I hope you get a little bit of inspiration what you can do, and I will of course continue with some more later on. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. See you soon again. Bye bye from Sweden.